Going to do my usual now and just do a sound check, make sure I actually have sound. So let me hop over here. If you jump on board, if you want to shout out and say, hey, that would be perfect. Let's just see what we got going here. Boy, so, hey. The icons are just about too small to see who it is, but I know you're here. There we go. Oh, hey. Okay. And just do a sound check. Hey, Carly. And it sounds like. Oh, go. Okay, go away. So let me go away. There we are. We're good. Ah, dear. So I straightened up the background. I don't even know what you call it. The colored sheet. But gotta love command hooks or strips. Put them on the wall. Kind of like it. I remember, let me think. I'm going to say 2007-ish. Hey, thanks, Carly. Yeah, it looks pretty good. The colors are nice and deep, and they're dark enough that it really does kind of separate me from the background, so they don't kind of all blend together, which is one of the things with video, right, is to separate yourself. You can use lighting for it. But anyway, this works out good. I was probably 2007-ish, I'm thinking, about this time of year. So it's November 24th. So for a lot of years, about this time of year, I would be super stressed because Christmas was coming and I had expectations to meet or exceed that I was pretty sure no matter how hard I tried, I wouldn't be able to meet them, let alone exceed them. And of course, that whole process involved money. So the closer, hey, Jesse, how you doing? So to try and meet or exceed these expectations, it equated to money, right? So the more presents, the right presents, all that kind of stuff, right? All the accoutrements that this season brings. And so I equated the more money I could spend, the closer I could get to meeting, maybe exceeding, knowing that I probably wouldn't. And then, of course, then there's the stress of, well, I'm spending money usually that I didn't have, and then it's just this ball of blah, right? So I can remember, right about now, and I'd be like super stressed until I could somehow manage my way through Christmas into January. And then for the longest time, once I had exited my domestic situation, that pressure wasn't there, but I can remember very clearly feeling it because it had been programmed into me. And then what would happen is there would be these brief flashes of feeling good, whatever that looks like, right? So I was downtown last night, picked up some pizza, and the city hall has the lights all lit up in the park down there, right? And all the happy people and all that kind of stuff. And so 2007-ish, right after that, I would look at that and you'd kind of feel that happiness or those good feelings, and immediately I would feel guilty for it. But really interesting. Like immediately, as soon as I started to feel the good, I started to feel, I'm going to say the bad. So as soon as I started to feel, let's say, joy, I'll give it a label, I felt guilt. And I was starting to understand that. And of course, I was out of the physical situation. And so I was starting to work on the mechanics of why that was. And I can remember, I know the exact spot. I could take you there. It's not a huge deal, but anyway, I was coming back. So it had been probably this time of year coming back from the city pool. And there's an apartment there, and it was blue lights on the balcony. And there was frost on the trees. And I can remember walking by there and looking at that, feeling those good feelings. And there wasn't that kickback of guilt that came with it. I remember that first time so clearly. I could picture it. Look to the left. It was probably one floor up, and actually feel good without having that backlash of feeling bad right afterwards. And of course, a lot has happened since then. I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot. And what I find really interesting, and what tweaked it was, I was listening to a recording this morning about So it's an Esther Hicks. Oh, I listen to her quite a bit. Again, her source, if you will, is maybe a little bit more mystical or metaphysical. But I tell you, the teachings is so incredibly practical. I really encourage you to check it out. Esther Hicks, YouTube it, tons of stuff. And she talked about how life is designed to be good for us. We're designed, we gravitate towards good feelings. We gravitate towards better and better. So it's in our DNA, if you will, for things to get better and better and better. So I thought about that. And then I'm kind of thinking about the emergence of the reinventation. Yeah, I make up words of the Healing Center, really in so many respects, at least in the expression of the Healing Center, which is almost cliche now, going virtual, but for us, it's a whole lot more than that. It's reconfiguring it, and it's like, who are we today, and how do we want to send our message and to the world, really, to the global audience, and doing the home study program. So I encourage you, head over to healingcenter.ca. There's a button there that says, Ask the Wizard Training Academy, and it's kind of cool. So we're plugging with home study courses. Now, for most of them have just got the kind of the box without the content, if we can put it that way. But I wanted to kind of get a bit of a framework, and then I'll keep filling stuff in. So it's really cool because you can purchase the home study course, and then you get your own profile. So when you purchase a course, it goes into your profile like a library. So then when you purchase another course, it goes into your profile like a library. Geez, I keep hitting the mic. Sorry. So then what happens is you'll build this profile of all these resource materials that you can refer to. And then, of course, along with that are the live sessions in the Zoom room, which, of course enhance that, right? So it's really, I'm really pleased with the way we've structured it and things like that. So I think about that. And so when you think about it, so I build a home study course. I mean, I've had the Reiki for self-healing for a while now. So all the time and energy, if you will, is put into building the course. And then when a person purchases it, there's really, it works really well for us because it's kind of build once and then you can offer it forever sort of thing, right? So it was like, okay, so if I could wake up in the morning and let's see how many courses, and they're everywhere from, some are starting at $5 to, boy, I don't know, probably the most expensive one, if I can use that word, is the Level 1 Reiki certification, which is going to be, it's broken down into 5 modules. I can't remember if you purchase it module by module, it's like, I don't know, $47 or something. You buy them all at once, it's $220, I think. So I wake up in the morning and, okay, let's see how many purchases were there, right? That I basically, and it's the whole thing, make money while you sleep type thing, but in a way that's the case, right? Once you build the course, people purchase it. And so in a way, it's, I don't want to call it passive income, but I guess it is a little bit, because there's all the after all the support that we really love to give you guys. But what's interesting about it is that I thought about that. There was this flash of, ooh, right? Oh, so feel good, feel bad, right? So there was this kind of this twinge of something, right? And what was interesting was, as I allowed a label to be attached to it, it was actually a label of guilt, which actually takes me in a long wandering way to the topic of this broadcast. And I know for myself, and many, if not all of you, we have been conditioned that you have to earn the privilege of feeling good. That you have to endure to feel good. That feeling good is this is bizarre when you think about it. There's a lot of truth to it. That the rewards of feeling good requires us to feel bad first, right? And it is. It's the whole earning it. It's like, we talk about it like you hear people like the sacrifices that you make, right? So I always find this interesting. And remember, I'm a bit weird. Okay, more than a bit. But anyway, it's like, if we're responsible adults, hey, you responsible young adults, right? As soon as you start work, you better start preparing to die. And what I mean by that is we've been conditioned that, okay, so when you start work, you got to save up money and you got to plan, you got to do this stuff. So you want to retire at 55. Okay, so that's my goal, right? And I'm not saying that sprinklings of that are not bad, but isn't it interesting how in this insidious way, it's like, well, I need to sacrifice feeling good so that 30, 40 years from now, I can feel good. And maybe I'm being a bit extreme, but I'm not sure if I am. And where does that come from? Right? And for us, it's always about going back to what the root cause is. And the root cause is usually pretty simple. Right? And I think it really comes down to this. We've been conditioned that it is not in our nature for good things to just happen to us. We have to earn them. We have to meet some expectations, whether it's expectations of another person, in my case, whether it's expectation that a society puts on us, right? Whether it's expectations that, that a culture, that a theology, that a fill the blanks put on us, that we've conditioned ourselves. We need to nourish ourselves. Oh, hey, hold on, because I can read it on here too, and I can reply. Don't mind me, I'm just kind of having fun. I like you guys. I will read your comment, Brendan. I just want to read it on here because I have like 4 screens going, and I'm adding a new one. Whoops, I'll turn the volume down. I like screens. Okay, I'll read it from here. We need to nourish ourselves and care for ourselves in order to support and care for others. Not say, that's, and that is so the case. Is we've been, and I'm not saying we all, become selfish assholes or something like that, but I think we've got things way out of whack. Right? And I really like what you said there, which I'm going to read on my other monitor again. Nourish ourselves and care for ourselves in order to support and care for others. So step 1, very well put, is nourish ourselves, care for ourselves. Hashtag I want to feel good. That's why your spiritual practice, right? Self-appreciation, right, is so huge right now, right? In order to care for others. So that's step 1. Step 2 is the caring for others. And you're so right, Brenda. And this is just me, but I don't think I'm the only one. We've really been conditioned that if we sacrifice ourselves, sorry, I don't have my pop filter yet, so you're probably getting pssts. If we sacrifice ourselves for others, well, now we're a martyr. Right? Isn't that interesting? Right? And then we get, their books are written about us and movies and statues and all that kind of stuff about how this person sacrificed for somebody else and for other people. And there's probably some value in that. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm always thinking, is there another way? Right? Is there a easier way, a more efficient way, a better way? Is there a way? One of the things we talk about in our master's class, Reiki master's class, Red Deer, December 5th and 6th. If you've been thinking about taking your master's, this is the time to do it. Existing masters, we'd love to have you sit in. It's at the office, so we got lots of space, right? So we're good there. Is there a way that we can have our cake and eat it too? And this is something that I know for myself, I know I have. And this morning was an opportunity for me to work on releasing that even more. And I think that's one of the neat things about this. Bob Proctor, Canadian, he lives, where is he at? Oh, Arizona now. Really cool. Hey, Rosa, how are you doing in California? Things are weird down there too. I've been watching the news. Goodness. So thanks for checking in. That he says that it's gone now. So it's about allowing more into our life experience. It's not about earning more. Oh, there you go. So it's not about earning more into our life experience. It's about allowing more into our life experience. Very good comment, actually. That was a good. Thanks for that. That was really good. That was very accurate too. And what's the allowing piece? And I think a big piece of it is we've been conditioned that to feel good. Hashtag I want to feel good, whatever that looks like, without earning it, without sacrificing for it, without even, if you will, doing something, right? So when you think about it, this might be sound oversimplified, but probably not. We don't, at least for myself, I don't have any health issues. I don't have to earn the right to breathe. I just breathe. And I don't feel guilty about breathing either. I just breathe. Well, experiencing a life experience that continually gets better and better and better without us having to earn and strive and force and travail is naturally who we are. So here's what I was thinking this morning. So when we contemplate, when maybe something good, whatever that looks like for us, just sort of happens, right? It just happens, right? Geez, I've got to do something with that. Sorry, Mike. I need more coffee. Receiving compliments, right? How many of us, I've gotten much better, but how many of us feel uncomfortable with receiving compliments, right? And I'm wondering, or even feel guilty about it. Or what we'll say is, we'll kind of tamper it down. Well, it was this and this. I think it all comes from that same root. That we feel guilt over feeling good without having to work for it. So why do we feel guilty? Yes, I think we've been conditioned to earn it. But what's beneath that? Is there something beneath that? Like simple, right? When I worked at Nova Chemicals, when an incident happened, an accident is way too strong a word, but when an unplanned event happened, they had this called an incident review, and it was always, okay, this is what happened in the physical. Okay, so why did that happen? Like, what was behind that? And what was behind that? And what was behind that? So it's like you go up the kind of the chain till you get to a root cause or causes. And they're usually pretty simple. And for me, I was thinking this morning, what if the reason that I feel guilty about feeling good without earning it is like I'm feeling guilty within myself, for myself, because of myself, because my true nature, in your true nature, is a life of abundance, better, better, better. And so when I have that tension inside me, because now you've got this truth, life is designed to get better and better and better. You've got the program that sits on top of that truth that says, no, it's not, I got to earn it, and all that kind of stuff, right? And the guilt is that tension that we feel between the truth and this program that isn't true, that's been trying to force itself on top of it. So what if feeling guilty has nothing to do with anyone or anything outside of us, and has everything to do with us and us? That the true nature of who we are, our soul, our spirit, higher self, pick your label, knows the truth. And when we consciously or unconsciously impress something that's false upon that truth, that's where you feel the guilt from. So once again, it's all about us, and it's all about you. And so the takeaway from this, the application piece, so the theme for what we do is information, understanding, application. So here's the application of it. So when we contemplate just good things, whatever it is, when we think, oh, that'd be really cool if that happened, or when something good happens and it just happens, we didn't again earn sacrifice for it, all that kind of stuff, and we feel that angst or that inside of us, right? And this is what I do. Where do you feel it in your body, right? When you feel those sensations, right? Where do you physically feel in your body? And what I will do is, I will just, of course, with Reiki, energy is flowing, and whatever other techniques you may have, I'll actually put my hands wherever I feel it, right? Because in a very real way, it's a wound, right? It's an aspect of yourself that isn't true. It's almost like a foreign body that's in your body. And your body knows it's not supposed to be there, and it's trying to push it out. And so when those sensations are triggered, it's your body pushing out, in a very real way, an infection. And so as we really focus in on the sensation, and we just be with the sensation, We're allowing our body to naturally expel that foreign body. Is, when you think about it, that's really a very accurate way of looking at it. That just never was designed to be there and doesn't need to be there. And your being knows how to release it and is trying to release it. Our job in so many ways is just to support it in that natural process. You are designed to feel good, whatever that looks like, without having to earn it. You don't have to be good enough to feel good. You don't have to meet certain expectations to feel good. You're designed to feel good. Maybe it's time we started to surrender to that. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We're all share. We're all in this together. Is anything else? No, I think we're good. Head over to the Healing Center website. We've been changing and adding stuff. Ask the Wizard Learning Academy, I think I call it. Ask the Wizard Training Academy. Who knows, that could change. Check that out. YouTube channel, there's a link to it there as well. If you go to the YouTube channel and if you hit the subscribe button, that's perfect because it really helps us in getting more YouTube exposure as well. So thanks, everybody. See you on the web.